Hello everyone, this is Cipher Deck, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. During the stream the other day, a viewer, Lichmode, asked me if I could help them with some information on how to make a guild chat cover. And that's what we're going to be doing today, is making a guild chat cover, and since they're the one who requested it, their name is going to be used for the guild chat cover. It's going to be pretty simple. Now, there are two softwares that I'm going to be using. One is Blender, and the other one is Paint.net. The links are going to be in the description below. They are free. You don't have to worry about any of that. I'm not going to show you how to download them or install them. If you want that information, there are videos specifically for that. But what we're going to do is we're going to concentrate on Blender first. Blender is the most daunting of the two to really understand, and then you can move on from there. If you have any questions, if you want to know how I do moving font on some of the videos that I do, we can do that in a different video. Just let me know in the comments below. So here is the splash page that you get whenever you open Blender. It's going to show the current version that you're running. It's going to show you any projects you've worked on, and then that's it. You can also see their links as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to left click on the background, and we will see this scene. We have three elements currently. We have a camera, we have a box, and we have a light source on the screen. You'll see very lightly there is an orange outline on the box. That means this is what is highlighted currently. We are going to press delete on our keyboard and press enter to get rid of it. Now, this light source is good for certain things, like if you want to have color radiating from one side to another, or if you want to put it in the middle of your text, it'll radiate the light out to the tips of the text. It can be pretty cool for different types of fonts that you work with, but for me, specifically in this video, we're going to get rid of it. So what we're going to do is not left click it, we're going to right click it. That highlights it, and we are going to press delete and enter. I'm sorry if I'm sounding like I am teaching a child. I'm not meaning to do that. What I'm trying to do is teach you how to do this without speeding along too far. If that makes any sense. I do not mean to offend anybody. I don't, if you need me to go faster, there is an option on YouTube that allows you to speed me up. So you can use that. Now, this is the camera. This is our focal point. We're going to right click it, and that will highlight it. The next thing we want to do is choose how we want to view the scene. For us, since we're looking at a 2D object, the font that we're going to be dealing with also can be manipulated. I'll show you that as well. But for our purposes, I need a flat surface, and the best way to do that is go to View, Top, and now we're on the top. Now, this is where a lot of people get confused on what I'm doing. Just to give a list of what just happened, I right clicked on the camera. The camera is now selected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Control Alt number pad 0, and it is going to frame up the size that you choose for your resolution over on the side here. 1920 by 1080 is what you would probably use if you were going to use to make something really big. But since we're going to be making a chat cover, we'll get to the aspect ratio later. So the next thing we're going to do is I am going to tell you I personally have not used buttons on the side here in a very long time to even know how to tell you to bring up a text element in the middle here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you the shortcut, because for me that is just what I use. It is Shift plus A. Don't have to hold it. Once it's on there, it's there. You can take your hand off of Shift and A, and you can mosey around this little thing. So for us, we're wanting to use text. Let's go ahead and click that, and it will literally put on your screen text. Now, we're going to go ahead and change this. I do apologize for the sound of my mic. I had to get to my keyboard. And we're now going to go ahead and type Lichmode. Now, I don't remember if this was capital or not. I'm going to go ahead and just do that for our purposes. And I'm going to put a space. No, never mind. I feel wrong for changing someone's name. I don't like that. So we're gonna leave it as is. Let's go ahead and leave that there. Oh, I do apologize. How to change the name? Once you have this highlighted, you can see there's an orange highlight around it. You want to tab. Tab will open it up and it'll close it up. You can change it, you can unchange it, you can do whatever you want. Tab will open it and close it. One thing you do not want to do is do anything else without making sure it is there. What I mean by anything else is not what we're doing today, but if you were going to manipulate this so it scrolls across the screen, like if you've seen any of my walkthrough videos, I have scrolling chat. You do not want to do it while it's in this mode. So that's it. That's all for that. What we want to do now is we're going to leave it in the center. We're going to make it a little bit bigger. So to do that, we're going to drag it. I'm right clicking, by the way, to drag, and I'm going to put it into this quadrant. And then I'm going to left click. Now, what I mean by quadrant is, you see, because we're doing the top down, we have a green line, we have a red line. It makes 4 quadrants. When we do that, we get this, and it allows us to extrude it out to make it bigger, easier to see for us. And we'll have to do that again anyway because of the font that we're going to be using. So let's go ahead and work on that. The website that I use for fonts is thefont.com. It is easy. You have some options here as far as what to look through. These are the recently added by people. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go with a brush script. No. Let's go with Chasing Embers. That kind of looks like you could turn it into a blood kind of color. I don't know why, but we're going to go ahead and do that. Choose to download it. Oh, and apparently I have already downloaded it. Once that is done, it is done. I'm going to press the up arrow, and I am going to show in folder. Now, what I'm going to do is, wherever that just took me to, Chasing, what was it called? Chasing Embers? Right here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up by clicking on it, and it'll show me 2 font types. There is a TTF and an OTF. Blender uses both of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy them by highlighting them. And I know where my font folder is, so I'm going to go to the drive that has it. And then right here is my font folder. I'm going to drag and go to font folder and let go. And it's telling me to copy replace. I'm going to go ahead and not do that because it's already there. No need to affect it while we're already in the program. So let's go ahead and go back over to Blender now that we have the font that we're wanting to use. What we're going to do now is we're going to go from the camera, which is what we've been on this whole time, and we're going to go over to the F for font. Now this, again, the thing about Blender is there are so many things you can do to this this program that you have a lot of things that are probably jumping out at you and you wondering what to do. For fonts specifically, it doesn't matter if you open it in regular, bold, and italic, it doesn't matter. The one that I will always put in is regular because it is not going to change the font. Now, because I use Blender a lot, it goes to my recently used locations, and I'm going to go ahead and go to font library. Now, that was called Chasing Embers. I'm going to use the TTF version just because, well, actually, the other one is a little bit higher resolution, maybe, because of size. I don't know. I'm just going to go with TTF for today. So once that's done, it's going to apply it to what we're doing. Again, now that we have an idea of the size that is going to make the font, we're going to go back and we're going to zoom it out so it's really big and in the middle of the screen. Now, it's not in the middle of the screen. We don't know that it's in the middle because we haven't told it to tell us where the middle is. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back over here into the font section, and at the bottom here you'll see horizontal alignment, and we're going to put it center. Well, I hovered over it too long, but there it goes. Now, because of that, I am able to literally drag that little dot onto the green line, and we know that it's centered. So that's it. That's all for that. If you want to add effects, this is not the kind of font to add effects to, but you can do offsets. But you'll see because of the kind of font this is, it's going to go insane. That we don't want that. We're going to go ahead and set that back to 0. And now we're not in insane mode anymore. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, we're done here. There's nothing else we need to touch on the screen. We're going to go over to this little circle that's next to F, and we're going to do new. This is where we're going to get the color that we want. And this right here is the current color, is white. I'm going to come down to here and choose like a red. And then I'm going to also kind of move this around. Move it until I find a red that I really want. I kind of like this burnt sienna type color right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click back into here, and I'm going to switch this over to hex. I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to go ahead and close this. Also, I have no clue what this does. I always put these up to 100 or 1, just because. Again, I have no clue. These are things you probably want to just play around with. Since this isn't a flat font, it is very hard to really see what's happening. But you have these different types of lighting that you get on the font. So play with those and enjoy. But I'll just use whatever is as chose for me right now. Also, for the hardness, you'll see that as you go with the different hardness settings, you can actually manipulate the color a little bit more. You need to be a little bit slower, but like right there is perfect for me. And I think that's all we need for that. Just making sure everything looks good. Let's go back over to here. So before we worry about this this resolution, before we go into all of that, the one thing you need to know about every image that you're going to make out of this is you need to go to shading and change sky to transparent. That way, whenever you're putting it on any kind of background or anything along those lines, you are able to have it as transparent. Let's go ahead and see what it looks like currently. So there it is. You'll see that it has no color to it, but the font actually looks the way I want it to look. It doesn't have any broken letters. This is something that happens with Blender sometimes. Depending on the font that you choose, you'll find broken letters, and we don't want that. This looks perfect. This is what I'm looking for. So we'll worry about the lighting after this next part. Now I'm going to go ahead and switch over to paint.net if I can find it on my desktop. Here we go. Paint.net. So as you can see, I've already pulled in a screenshot of a character of mine, And this box right here is what I'm wanting to cover with whatever I'm putting there. I could change this so it was smaller in the game. Whatever size you make this, just do whatever it is that you want as far as that goes. So what I'm going to do is, for me, let's go ahead and I want to, again, I'm trying to be very specific because I know I can speed through things just because I've done them so much. Over here, we have tools, and there are a few of them that are very important that you'll want to learn, and we'll use them as we go along. But for us, the two we're currently going to be using are this, which is a reticle select, and also this one, which is a move and select. So now that this one is highlighted, we're going to click on the screen. What we're going to get by this, by clicking on the screen, is down at the bottom here, we'll see that this is 1920 by 1064. We're trying to do this for a 1920 by 1080 screen that you're going to be showing during your streams or videos or whatever it is that you're doing. So we want to have this as accurate as possible. Now that this is also selected, I come up here and I press plus. Well, this isn't doing it, but what it will normally do is it will show what size you are currently in, and you can choose what you want it to be. So I want it to be 1920 by 1080, and I'm press enter. It's going to give me this white background. I'm going to go ahead and change the color because we're in dark mode. I don't really want it to be making it overbearing. So this is the correct size. Let's go ahead and make sure that before we do anything else, I re-choose the move select tool. And we're going to come back over here. And because you can see this pulsating border that's going around, I'm going to go ahead and copy it. Now that I've copied it, I'm going to come back over here and I need to paste this. But I don't want to paste this where this is, because I want to make sure that whenever I'm pasting this, that I'm covering the whole thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the plus sign, and that's going to create a new layer. Layers are a thing that you will see me do a lot in this program today. Hopefully the video isn't too long for you guys. I was thinking about splitting it up, but that's here nor there. Now I'm going to press Control V, and that's going to bring the image in. Now you can see that we are able to see the difference between the two. When you're in window mode for EverQuest, it leaves this much off of your aspect ratio. So what we're going to do is we're going to press enter. That stops the pulsating around the edge. And I am going to start doing some different things. Like you can scroll up and down. If you do control, you can zoom in, and that's what we're doing. We're wanting to zoom in here, and we're going to then go back, and we are going to select the image again. This image being the one that is on top of the other image. And what we're doing is we're looking for the border movement selector, which is right here. So then we're going to just drag this down nice and slow till it is pixel specific. This is me. This is my OCD. But pixel specific location. It looks like it may be a little bit too low. Maybe not. There we go. That should be good. Go ahead and press enter. Now you can click on this and get rid of it if you need to. It doesn't really matter for what we're doing today. But now that we have this chat bar right here, I'm going to go to the selector, and I'm going to zoom in because I want to make sure that this covers exactly the area that I'm looking for. So I'm going to go to here because I know that that is where the box visibly for me shows that it is. And I'm going to slide this along over to here. And I'm going to come down to here. And this is where the chat ends for this specific one. And yeah, I think that's correct. Let's go. Let's zoom back out. Move it over. And that looks like that's going to cover all the chat. I could care less what you if you see what I'm typing. By the way, this is not my favorite setup out of all my characters. I have let me see, is it cut off really that much? It is. Okay. Well, that's pretty bad. Alright, so now that that's done, we are going to copy it. And we are going to open a new one, and it's going to work. There it goes. So we see it's 413 by 98. 413 by 98. Let's go back over to Blender now. 413 by 98. There we go. And so now we know what we're looking for as far as our area that we want this to be in. So I like the size of this. I think I'm going to keep it that size. Also, let's go ahead and zoom in here. I kind of want, trying to see where we want to have this. Is it kind of looks like if we get to about, well, let's go down. I think that right there is perfect. And the reason that is because the top line is hitting and the bottom line is hitting here. This is the actual line that this whole font is based off of. So that is why I'm doing it that way. You can be more specific. You do however you want. I'm just showing you how I do this. So it means that there's going to be a little bit of space on this side and this side for you to do some effects to the image that you are going to be putting behind this. I feel that this is done, but we need a light source. So I'm going to go ahead and press Shift A, lamp, sun, and I don't care where this locates itself because it's gonna brighten up this whole thing. Let's go ahead and render. There we go. I want to save it now. We're going to go to Images, Save a Copy. And then we're going to go to I think it's Documents. No, I have to remember how to get to this. The users, me. Now you know my name. Oh my gosh, the veil is uncovered. If you aren't an old Facebook watcher of mine, or as far as the things that I posted on Facebook, my name was always there. I have no worries about that. It is not there anymore though. But either way, so we're gonna go to pictures. Here we go. And we're going to go into streaming. And we're going to name this Lichmode. There we go. Save as image. And we are done here. Go ahead and press X. Don't need to save it. It's going to save it anyway. And what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and press OK on this. And we will now have our background area. Also, we want to go ahead and import. So I'm going to open. We'll go to pictures. Go to streaming stuff. And choose Lichmode. And there we go. We have Lichmode as the aspect. Actually, we don't even need this anymore. So we can get rid of that. And we'll start layering backgrounds on this. This is the fun part, for me at least. So what I like to do is I like to open up 4 layers. And then we want one more layer. So this layer here goes all the way down here, and it's behind the background. So you'll see that there's a layer below it and 4 layers above it. This will actually be moved, and actually we can do that now. So all the layers are below it. But here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and use layer 6 because that's the one I had already chose as the background color for this. And I have no clue what color I want to use. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to choose a color. I'm going to click more over here, and I am going to play around with the colors until I get kind of what I'm looking for. Again, it doesn't matter. This is all going to be able to be changed in some of the little tools that we have available to us. So once you do that, you're going to go ahead and use a bucket and paint it. That looks horrible. But because we just painted this, this is still a source that you can change. So you can move this around now. You can see what looks good. I don't know why, but that actually looks good because of what we're going to be doing next. So now that that's chose, I'm going to press enter. I'm going to go back up here to the select tool, and I'm going to click on the actual font that we made. We want this to look a little bit more popped out, or we don't. It really depends on you. We're gonna see if we like it popped out, but I'm expecting that I personally am not going to. So we're gonna go to effects, objects, drop shadow, and we're gonna take a look here. And we're going to go ahead and go into the black mode here. Now, you see how it's bunching a lot in the sections here? What you're wanting to do is you're wanting to bring this like really low. You want to bring the blur a little low, and we want to kind of start bringing this back up. Nice and slow. And then we can blur it out a little bit too. Doesn't have to be perfect. You can also, if you want to, you can move this a little bit so you have kind of a little background behind it, and that way it pops out a little bit more. I kind of like that actually, but I'm going to go with a little bit lighter color, something more of the color of the background, but still is there. I like that. Okay, now that we're done. Now, we may not need all 4 of these boxes, but we're going to at least use 2 of them. So the next thing I'm going to do is click off of that layer and click onto layer 5. I'm also going to come back down to here where my colors are. I'm going to close that down, and I'm going to choose the black color. Alright, because this isn't about what color you choose, it's about what's going to be showing once this is done. I hope this part doesn't really throw you off too much, but for me, it took a while for me to really understand what I was doing here. So they've done a lot of changes over here, and I need to see what, there it is, gradient. And yeah, that is exactly what I'm looking for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by hovering about this far away from the middle. And I'm going to start zooming in. And I'll zoom in until I kind of feel like the black that's coming in is where I want it to be. You can see it's still a little bit light over here, still a little bit lighter here, but it's darker over here. Now this makes no sense because of the fact that you're not seeing the color that it's going to be layered with. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click, or actually we're going to double click. It's been so long now. Who's the person teaching who? Oh, I gotta press enter. Let's go ahead and click that layer. There we go. You have to double click a little harder, I guess. And we're gonna change this from normal to multiply. And there we go. We can see that this actually is working with this. But maybe I don't like this. This is too dark, and it's messing with the drop shadow that I did. So I'm gonna go ahead and redo it. I'm gonna go ahead and click over here. I'm gonna start again, and I think I'm gonna just go with that. I think that's where I want it to be. Now, if you know that you're going to be doing this, you can actually change all of these to multiply, but I think here we're only going to be using 2. I'm going to bring in a little bit more. I felt that that was just not enough. Just right there. Also, if you want to, you can go literally from here to here if you want to, just so you know that you're kind of following the same angle. But what we can do is we can use this little section here as our stopping point. I think that works perfectly fine. Now let's do this one, and we're going to be coming from here and our stopping point. And I think that's it. That's what we want. Now, if you want a border around this, that's a whole other story. We could do that if you wanted. It's really easy to do. So what I'm going to do is, for this one specifically, I am going to use a light color that is kind of in the same color scheme. And I also want it to be under these 2 layers, because I want it to look kind of cool as well. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to change to my paint tool. I'm going to cover that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in. I actually like that color a little bit better. What I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in. And again, I deal with perfection as possible as I can. So I'm going to come back up here to the select, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 and start here. I'm going to go ahead and press Control so I can zoom out and start going to the other side. Once I hit the other side, I'm going to go all the way to the bottom. I'm going to start zooming in. And then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Right there. And I'm going to delete this. And there you go. You have a nice border. It looks weird because of how close we're to it, but there it is. And if you want to, you can even move this a little bit up more, because it's kind of a little low in the frame. Once you decide this is exactly how you want this to go, I think layer 2 is one we didn't use. And say you did mess up. Say you remove this layer that was the border. It's okay. You can go back. You can go forward. You can even go all the way back up to when we started. It's fine. Now that we've done, we're going to go ahead and start layering these. I am going to hit this arrow down, merge layer is what it's called, and we're going to merge that. And then we're going to merge these 2 first before we merge onto our current layer. And if you want to see, we could turn this off and you can actually see those by themselves. And then we're going to merge those. And finally, click back onto the picture and merge that. If we go ahead and go to our select tool and click on this, we can copy it now. We can go to our accurate size and we can press V. Move this down. And it should fit exactly how we designed it. So let's go ahead and move this. One more up there. And then over here, you should see that that stays on that line. And there you go. Now, last thing. We're not done. We have one last thing to do. Okay, this is where we want it, right on the screen while we're streaming. We know that this is where it needs to be. Instead of just copying this into OBS or whatever program you're using, let's just take care of it now. And that way it will always be in that specific location. See how it's highlighted currently? Let's go up to Edit. And we're going to go to Invert Selection. And now we're going to undo everything we just did. There we go. Because we need to add another layer. I do apologize for that. Go ahead and bring this in. Bring it back down. Let's go ahead and zoom in to make it perfect. There it is. It's perfect placement. Now then, I do apologize for that. Now then, we're going to go to File, or Edit rather. We're going to go to Invert Selection. And now I'm going to change to this layer right here. And I am going to remove it. Actually, I'm just going to remove the whole layer. We don't need anything else. There we go. And there you have your cover saved exactly where it's going to be. You can actually import this into OBS. It will place it over the whole thing at the aspect ratio you want it to be in, and it'll be perfect. To save it, go to File, Save As, and the first thing you want to do, I'm going to go back here, go to, not Actions, Images, and you want to change this to, actually, no, we can use PNG. Just making sure, yeah, PNG. And just save it as, Guild Chat Cover. And if you want to be specific, Lichmode. Because I have one for every class, or every character that I do videos for. Save. Press OK. Close out. Don't save. And we're done. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, if I went too fast, if I stumbled over anything, I'm leaving it in. But hopefully that helped in some way. I'm sorry the video is so long. This is Cipher Deck. Have a great day. Peace.